Nigerian Bar Association has called on the National Assembly to urgently amend the Electoral Act 2022 to make the use of BVAS and IReV legally mandatory in all elections. Presenting its proposals to the House Committee on Electoral Matters, the NBA's Electoral Reform Committee, led by Dr. Monday Ubani, also recommended criminal sanctions for INEC officials who failed to transmit results electronically. The NBA's detailed memorandum proposed over a dozen reforms, including limiting candidate disqualification suits to intra-party challengers, empowering INEC to monitor primaries, allowing certified digital evidence in tribunal cases, and creating an electoral offences commission with prosecutorial powers. It also suggested early voting for election officials and same-day national elections to cut costs and deter manipulation. Dr. Ubani described the reforms as urgent and essential to rebuilding public trust in Nigeria's electoral system. Lawmakers welcomed the proposals, signaling intent to integrate several into ongoing legislative reviews. The NBA pledged continued engagement with both chambers to ensure the reforms are passed into law before the 2027 general elections. Ndamzi, what is your take on this?
The call is a welcome development because personally I have been a champion and an advocate of electoral reform, both electoral reforms and constitutional review. Yes, election in Nigeria have become very cancerous. Very, very cancerous. You see, as a people, we have the right to good election because the hallmark of democracy is hinged on free, fair, credible election. Anything short of that, you know, it's not a proper democracy. Okay, and you know, Section 38, paragraph 38 of INEC guideline, you know, in the last 2023 general election, the INEC guideline, you know, talked about electronic transmission of results, while the controversial Section 60 subsection 5 of the Electoral Act says INEC, you know, reserves the right to transmit electronically or not. So I sincerely give kudos to NBA to, you know, giving a voice at this time. It's a right time to make this call because there is ongoing constitutional review. So it's high time the National Assembly considered proper review of our constitution, because the review of constitution have become very epileptic beginning from the 1999, you know, 1999 till date. National Assembly come, National Assembly go. Constitutional review, it's always a controversial issue. So this is a time Nigeria truly needs proper electoral reforms. Because going by what happened in 2023 general election, the major problem was on transmission of results. If the BVAS were to be transmitting, and we can view it in real time in the IReV portal, believe me, it will weed out lots of inconsistencies, it will weed out ballot box snatches, it will weed out this thing. We waste our time in various rack centers where the abracadabra is done are in the various rack centers. By the time we finish the voting, they take the various result documents, election documents to the rack centers where they will now sit and do all the mago. So if truly Nigeria want to succeed, we need proper electoral reforms. Because if you don't vote in your leaders, you cannot hold them accountable. And believe me, the political class, without fear of favor, know that our vote doesn't count, that, you know, when the election comes, they will manipulate whatever and see themselves back in office. That's why when they go in there, they change their phone numbers. You can't reach them. You call them, one PA somewhere takes your call and tell you, Oga is busy. But these are people who, you know, yearn for our votes, pleaded with us. Some of them even ate corn with us on the road.
Fried akara.
Some even dispensed fear. Some did lots of things, but once they get into there, you don't see them again. They disconnect from the people, believing that the next general election, they will have their way again. I watched the INEC chairman in Ghana during Ghana constituent election, where he was, you know, talking about electoral integrity. So, you see, in my opinion, I see that as hypocrisy. You go to another man's country, you claim to be a champion of democracy, you claim to be a champion of electoral integrity and fairness, but you saddled with that responsibility to dispense electoral fairness to Nigerians. You were not able to do that. So a lot is really wrong with the electionary system in Nigeria. So the call by NBA, it's a welcome one. It's really a welcome one, and I will encourage Nigerians also to participate in this ongoing constitutional review, even though we know that the National Assembly is not honest with reviewing the Constitution. Because if they were honest, why zone or locate venues of these places to government houses, places that are difficult for people to access? Why, since it's a public hearing, why not look at places like International Conference Center, places like Stadium, where Nigerians can come and air their view? And the government house, how many people can access? The numbers are limited. And two, the question is,
they have the space.
How many?
Accommodate, and they are zoning it. They zoned it. So the one of South.
It's holding in Akwa Ibom.
In Akwa Ibom State. Now you have Cross River. You have
So how many Nigerians will move from Port Harcourt to Akwa Ibom, Edo, Delta? So how many will participate?
The five South states will comprise themselves in the government house.
And the time allotted to this review, it's so sketchy and small. How do you tell me Nigeria with complex fundamental problems? You want to review our constitution and you are asking millions of people in South to converge in Akwa Ibom for days. How do we achieve the intention? So that is to tell you that we are yet to have men of character in the National Assembly. I have never accepted anything to be positive whenever it comes from the National Assembly, because they don't keep to terms with Nigerians. The social contract made with Nigerians, they have invariably told us that, look, we don't care about you. What they care about is their gigantic allowance, their fat salaries, and all that. They don't care about making good laws that will ameliorate the challenges, the sufferings of the ordinary Nigerians. So, if truly they are honest with reviewing our constitution, with particular mention to electoral reform, they should also, look, Nigerians need to also ask for independent candidacy, diaspora voting. It's also important. And also, you cannot achieve electoral reforms without reforming the judiciary. There should be judicial reform, because electoral reform is like a younger brother to judicial reform. Because when the elections come and go, disputes end in court. and the court will give a voice. So in Nigeria, we believe that the courts even, are the umpire. No more INEC. Yes, with the Nigerian experience, INEC does all their thing, and the court says who becomes president or who becomes governor at last. So if you don't reform the judiciary, electoral reform cannot be successful. And also, I would want to add to the submission of MBA that electionary disputes should be resolved before swearing in. Okay? I and in conjunction with 14 other colleagues, we have raised a memo, okay, and we are submitting our opinion to the Constitutional Review Committee, because as Nigerians, we all reserve the right, we all have the voice to say what happens in our constitution. And also, constitutional review is not the problem, because that particular constitution does not belong to Nigerians. What Nigerians need is a new constitution. Yes, Nigeria needs what are we reviewing? We are basically reviewing the dictates of the military government. That 1999 constitution was a childbirth of military government. They only handed it over to the civilian government of 1999 as a working document, believing that the civilian National Assembly, when in place, will look at the document and do the needful. But because we have had men who do not have character, men who do not want Nigeria to thrive, democratically, men who are selfish, men who are greedy, men who do not want Nigeria to move forward in the National Assembly. That's why we year in, year out, we are still grappling with reviewing our constitution.
Do you think that our Nigerian constitution is the problem, or is it the leadership of the country and the weak institutions that we have that is the problem? Obasanjo said, at the beginning of this whole thing, that the Nigerian constitution, while even though it is flawed, it's not the problem. That the problem is the quality of leaders that we have. Do you agree with that?
Respectfully to our father and former president Obasanjo, I do not agree. Okay, that the constitution is not the problem. The constitution is flawed. Don't forget, Nigeria is a country founded on laws. If the laws are flawed, the leaders will find loopholes to do whatever they are doing. For example, particular mention to paragraph 38 of INEC guideline. Okay, the INEC guideline says that INEC will transmit our election results electronically. We saw the INEC chairman then, even in Chatham House, when he visited UK, he told the world that they will transmit election results electronically. But the controversy is on section 60, particular mention to sub 5 of that section, which says that INEC prescribes the mode of transmitting election results. So that was where INEC and their staffs, who, in connivance with the political class, who are already corrupt and want to hijack this system, now saw the loophole. Okay, when the time comes, we'll switch off the server and we will do it manually. After all, the law mandates us here. So do you now see where the constitution and other laws are flawed? So now that the constitutional review is ongoing, it is a time to set the record straight. I don't even believe they should review the Electoral Act alone. No, this matter should be a constitutional matter. We want electronic transmission of our results so that we can view the results in real time. With that, the son of a nobody can vie for election and be sure to win, when he or she has good message for the people, when the campaign manifesto and all that truly hits on what the people want. But because INEC, you know, in connivance with the politicians, do all this, people no longer, you know, have faith in the electoral system. People no longer have faith in the judiciary, who will thereafter give a voice to whatever INEC did. So now, in reconciling the position of Obasanjo, our father, I don't believe that the election, the constitution alone, the constitution is not the problem. The constitution is the problem. Corrupt leadership is the problem. Lack of political will to do the right thing is the problem. Look, Lorisha, these guys travel abroad. When they get there, they see how organized the system out there are. That's why they can go there and buy houses. Some even have buy houses for their children who are schooling out there. I have family friends, you know, a politician. So many of them, they bought houses for children. Meager amount of money. That is to say, the system out there is organized. The society is organized. So when they come back, why don't they replicate same here? Simply because they want to cheat us. Simply because they want to rig themselves back to power. But Nigerians, this is a time to remain resolute. This is a time to give a voice to the ongoing review, so that we can have all those ingredients we want to see during our elections in our Electoral Act.